Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to the Radiant Woman podcast, episode number 10. Today I'm so excited I have in the studio with me my beautiful friend and client, both now, Melissa X Tamara, and this is really awesome because she was in the studio with us just over a year ago, and I wanted to invite her back in today and just like dive into the journey, the journey that has unfolded over the last just over 12 months because it's been a big journey, right? So welcome back, Mel.
Thank you. Thank you, Tree.
So let's just start right there and dive straight in. So yeah, it's been a big journey over the last 12 plus months, and so the last time you were here, we were celebrating you had just done your first 11K month, which at the time was your best month to date as an entrepreneur. And then it's so funny though, because the following month in June, we celebrated you did a $36,000 month.
Correct.
Right off the back. So yeah, so we're currently in August of 2025, so it's been like 14 months. Do you want to tell us a bit about the journey from back then to now?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously when you do a 36K month, it's all like celebrations and everything's amazing.
We were popping champagne at my house.
We were popping champagne at your house, that's right. and I think within that 36K month, there was a 23K week as well. So
that's right.
Yeah, and it was exciting, and to then think, okay, like if I do 23K a week and I can do that consistently in a month, like that's like an 80 to 90K month. So it was like celebrating so much and was then like, okay, well now you need to do this every month, like the overachiever in me, right? And it needs to be consistent and every month. And I guess, like that's just not the journey in entrepreneurship. Like there's always the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. And it's about like, it's been a huge journey of being able to ride those waves over the last 12 months and try and just like always coming inwards. And this is where I'm really grateful for the modalities that I've learned in working with you with how to regulate my nervous system when things are not great, but also when things are great as well, like having that balance, because it's not about, from my perspective, it's not about having like the 11K month and the 36K month. It's about like, well, how do we actually make it consistent and not just consistent in the number, but consistent with your nervous system being regulated. Because from what I've seen in like the women I have that are mentors that do 7 figures, like I know one lady that did $721,000 in 61 days. Yeah. You can't get to that level unless you've got a pretty robust nervous system.
Yeah. Yeah, and sense of safety within self. And I love that because it's like, okay, we don't need to just look at doing nervous system work and embodiment work when things are going bad. It's like also, when you reach new levels and new pinnacles, because I remember last year in March, I had my biggest month to date at the time. It was a $56,000 month. And that absolutely triggered my nervous system. I had all this stuff come up around like, oh my God, like, are people still going to love me? And like, am I going to outgrow my husband? And like, just, it was so interesting because my nervous system was like, I've never experienced this before. Is this safe? Like,
Totally.
So I love that. And it kind of links back into as well as like doing this work as a proactive rather than, so just doing it as a lifestyle rather than doing it as a reactive to like, oh my God, things are going to shit. Oh, I better do some inner work.
Totally.
So,
yeah.
I love
and
that.
I was going to say I believe, but I'll say I know that with every level that you grow in entrepreneurship, there's going to be something that comes up, and that might be doing the $50,000 month and being like, oh, like, am I outgrowing this area of my life, and is everyone going to hate me? Or it might be like, well, it's like, okay, well, what happens when you do $100,000 month? Like, there's always something else, and I couldn't agree more. If you're proactive with it, the work, then it's like you're you're fast tracking the process because you're not allowing it to sit there and bottle up and be like the conduit for blocking your growth.
100%. Yeah. And I think this is really important because what is so normal, like for so many people, is to wait till things get shit to take action. It's like, why does pain always need to be the motivator?
We're interesting humans, aren't we?
And it's funny because I was listening to a podcast recently with one of my old mentors, and she was saying how like she has an incredible relationship with her husband, and yet every month they see a couples therapist. Mm-hmm. So every month that's scheduled in, and it's not because things are bad, like things are actually good, but they're doing it as a proactive rather than waiting for like them to have a fight or something to get bad. And it's, I really love this. So, okay, tell me more. So you hit this $36,000 month. And okay, I love this moment of like, oh my God, because I think it's so easy, right? Like as entrepreneurs, when we hit these new levels, to think that, well, from here, it's only going to go up, or from here, it's just going to keep like the same.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you, it doesn't work like that. And so, yeah, you had this big month and celebrated it. And then what are some of the other things you've needed to, navigate over the last year? So
much. I remember, like, we could be here for days, right?
Let's unpack
I remember towards the end of last year, around this time last year, maybe around September, October, I had this huge realization that the way that I had been getting the results in my business was actually not in alignment anymore. And a lot of results that I had achieved before, and I'm not going to say all the results in the first 12 months of my journey, but what I found was this pattern reoccurring of like needing to work hard to get results and playing out kind of what was playing out in corporate. And the whole reason that I got into this business was to have the freedom with my children, to not be on calls all day, not pinned to devices all day, to actually have the time flexibility. And I got to a point where I was like quite attached to the outcome and was trying to work really hard for that. And then I just realized that actually wasn't in alignment. So I pretty much changed pretty much every single thing in my business. Like I started leveraging more of the automation. I started having stronger boundaries around like when I did and didn't do work, around like being on my device with the kids around, and just, like automating my ads, my lead generation, getting more support from a VA. I kind of like went like a complete 360 and even down to like the type of people that I was wanting to support in my business and help. Yeah. So like everything changed.
And I really saw that around the time of like, because I remember last year we were doing, as always, like I do with myself and all my clients, this core work around like really embodying your inherent worth and not getting worthiness from external things like success, money, etc. Yeah. And I really love this because it's like, from what I saw is when you first started in your business, the huge driver was to get away from pain. And we were talking about this the other day at my event. Is like that was your first driver. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with being motivated by pain. And pain can be a very friggin' powerful kick up the ass for people. Right? It's like, fuck, I don't want to. And as human beings, we're wired to run away from pain and move toward pleasure. And so when you started, your driver was to not go back to corporate, right? So it was getting away from pain. But then what I'm hearing in this and what I've seen in your journey was like you got to a point where your driver started to actually change, and intertwined with doing this worthiness work too, of like reclaiming your inherent worth. So you didn't have to hustle to prove your worth. And you realized, okay, I actually want to do this a different way now. And you change the driver to you want to be a present mum, and a more aligned why of how you actually want to feel in your life is peace.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. So it like the first thing was like not going back to corporate because like I didn't want that lifestyle anymore. I didn't want the 60-hour weeks. I didn't want to have to be putting the kids in childcare, like probably before and after childcare. And yeah, just that whole like city lifestyle. And I remember before I fully pulled the pin, I was basically asked to move back to the city in order to keep my job, even though they'd said I could move like where we live now, which is a beautiful small beach town. And so, yeah, you're right. Like that pain driver was there so much. And
it got you some amazing results.
It did.
And that's the funny thing, right?
Yeah.
Is like, again, we were talking about this at my event, is like, there's a lot of actually high achieving women who have created
success from pain.
Exactly, like 7-figure businesses from almost like a trauma response.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I don't want to heal my trauma because it's made me successful.
Yeah. It's made me rich. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be from that driver. It can come from a different driver.
Totally. And then that's it. And then it became a case of like, okay, well, why not have both? Like, why not have the income, the success, the presence with the children, and the impact? That was the other thing, is like I started to get really attached to, I saw some women in my team have incredible results. And so then I became really attached to the impact versus like, what am I getting out of it? Because when we're helping enough people and we're impacting enough people, the financial side of things takes care of itself. So then I think I've used the analogy of like an impact junkie. I was like, I just want to impact more people. I just want to help more people.
Hashtag addicted to impact.
Yeah. But also like doing that from a place of peace versus like needing to do that to feel worthy, or needing to have the success of that to feel worthy. Like that worthiness actually comes from within now versus anything external, whether that's impacting someone, whether it's having the nice car or the nice house. It's coming from a place of like inner peace.
And wholeness.
Yeah. And that's
Totally.
been a massive like there's been a lot, but I would say right now that is one of, if not like the highest realization that I've had in the last 12 months is my results now just coming from a very different place, like not needing to succeed to get out of pain, not needing to be successful to feel like I'm worthy. Like those two things alone have been a massive, massive shift.
Yeah. So it's like you really coming into a deeper alignment. And yeah, that's awesome. And okay, something that I've been noticing in my journey the last year, and it's been coming up a lot just recently for the women that I'm, supporting, is like this notion of doing things that seem hard in the moment but actually lead to long-term fulfillment, reward, happiness. So for example, like for me lately, it's been with my body. I'm like, okay, I want to take my body and my relationship with my body and health to the next level. And so I've brought in a new way of eating and also a new way of training. And it's like there's been moments where it's been friggin' hard. Like, it's like I'm doing the workouts and I'm on my mat and I'm like, oh my God, I was like, it's pushing me, and it's like, fuck, this is hard. Why am I doing this? And it actually kind of links back into the driver behind why are we doing things. Because I remember 7 years ago or 8 years ago, when I was in the best shape of my life. It was just before I fell pregnant. And so I looked amazing. I was really fit and strong and all the things in my body. However, the driver for me back then was actually, like, if I'm being really honest, like hating my body. It was like I was so critical of it that I had to be like perfect to feel not even like I love my body, but just to feel like, okay, like this is good enough. And so
the good enough though was like coming from a place of pain.
Yeah. It was me like getting away from trying to avoid facing the fact that I hated my body. And I had all this like internal criticism that was really strong. And so what happened was like, you know, I became a mum and I put on weight and I had adrenal fatigue and all these things. And so basically the last 7 years I was afraid of like doing vigorous training again because I was like, well, I was afraid of where it was coming from. And so doing all this inner work and so much healing and all the things over the last 7 years, I've come back to this place now of the last few weeks when it's been hard and I'm like sore, you know, the days after I'm like, oh my God, I can hardly freaking sit down. I'm calling my massage therapist like, quick, come to my house. And I've had to really go, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I going to continue? Because it's not comfortable. Like it's painful. It's fucking sore. It's hard. And what it really came back to is like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to be a role model to my son of him seeing what it looks like to treat your body as a temple. I want to be a role model to the women that I'm impacting, that you can be successful in all areas of life, because I'm successful in business and relationships. But the one thing for me the last 7 years has been my body. And I want to, most importantly, have this be a reflection of love for my body. And then staying persistent and pushing through so much resistance the last few weeks. I this morning, like I put on this dress. I haven't worn this dress in like months, and I was like, my dress is looser. Oh my God, it's happening.
It's working.
And also, like, if I do say so myself, my skin is glowing, like my energy levels are up, my sex drive is up. That's a key sign that your health is going good, that your sex drive is there, by the way, FYI. Like so many things are just so much better, and I'm feeling so much better. And I'm like, oh, yes, this is the reward. So it's like, to come back full circle, it's like, moving through the resistance means we get the reward. It's like sometimes doing those things that are like, fuck, I don't want to do this, set us up for long-term results and reward, right? And it's like we live in a world where I think so many people, especially with social media, it's like scrolling, like it's all about the fast dopamine hits.
Totally.
But then what we're missing out on is that deeper like presence and so dopamine and endorphins are the selfish hormones, but the hormones we can only get from being with people are the ones that really feel like that deep happiness and fulfillment, which are serotonin and oxytocin. So anyway, bringing it back to you, I would love to know like what's been your experience with that over the last year, or even in your life. What have you noticed around that, like showing up? And
firstly, that pretty much everything that we do when we first do it is hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've got a lady in my team at the moment who's just joined, and we're laughing at the moment about like how to do reels and how to do little like captions and text things. And it took me back to my days of when I was new and I didn't know how to do that stuff as well. I remember so many times doing something for like half an hour and then a week later working out how I could do it in like 2 minutes and being so frustrated. Like, why did that take me so long? Like, I've lost so much of my life from not knowing that straight away, right? Yeah. But also, that's how it works.
That's the journey.
That's the journey when we first start, right? So, you know, there's always going to be that period of pain and resistance to push through when the why on the other side of it is bigger than the resistance, right? And hopefully that why is coming from a good place versus pain, but pain can also be good and serve us, you know, getting off our butts in the first place at times. So I feel like that's part of the journey, and you know, like I've never met anyone that's done multiple 6 or multiple 7 figures and said, oh, the whole journey was easy, right? Like that's the reality of it. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
Totally.
So yeah, the first thing is like, it's meant to be hard.
Just made $1 million. It was so easy.
It was so easy, said nobody ever.
It was like actually super quick. We were playing the Wish one day, which is like a personal development board game. If you like, haven't played it,
Monopoly for personal development junkies.
Exactly. And I was playing it with Clint, a good friend of ours who is a multi-millionaire, and I'm pretty sure my wish was, this was a while back, it was like, okay, to make $1 million this year with ease, grace, and flow. Yeah. And he said to me, like, it was his turn, and he said to me, he's like, yeah, hate to break it to you, but it's probably not going to be easy. He's like, you just got to be okay with that. And it's like, and I've really loved, like, lately when it's hard, say in my workouts or in parenting lately, like our son's going through a big development. It's like I'm building the resilience of being okay in the hardness.
Totally.
It's like, it's hard. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. Like, I'm okay. It's
absolutely
hard and I'm okay.
And I think as well, it's also being grateful for the times that it is hard, because you are building, like, let's say you have, like, I know a good friend of mine is going through a really challenging time at the moment with selling a property, and she's doing that with her brother, and there's been some pretty big challenges, and she's had to hold a lot of capacity to get through this stage. And it's like, okay, like, that is frustrating, and ideally you don't want to be in that situation. However, the capacity that you're building and the resilience you're building, how are you then going to be able to take that to other areas of your life where something hard is going to be like, oh, this is a walk in the park, because when I dealt with that, like, it was, 10 times harder. So it's like
100%.
Building our resilience is, you don't just do it in one area of your life. It's going to help you in all aspects.
Totally. And I love this because it comes back to the conversation of, like, success as a whole, right? Which is what Radiant Woman is all about. It's not just, like, yes, when I work with women, it's always a focus on business and impact, but it's like we look at everything because it's all interlinked. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Like recently, I had a client who was she wasn't open about it at first, but basically what came up was that she needed to have a confronting conversation with her partner about just really expressing her needs and desires. And I could see she was like avoiding it. She's like, I don't want to do this. Like, so like uncomfortable. But I'm like, look, if you are avoiding showing up and expressing what you need and what you want, what does that say about how you see your value and your worthiness as a human being, right? Because I'm like, I said it's like, when you show up to a conversation and you express, like, okay, this is how I'm feeling and this is what I want and need, what you're saying, in other words, is that this is important. Like, what I need and want matters. It's important, and I matter, and this matters. And so that energy, embodying that energy, it's like, of course, how does that then translate and flow into business? Of like her owning her worth and her power.
Yeah, and really going for what she wants and being like, I'm worthy and I get to have this. And yeah, it's all intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's something I said the other day to on one of my calls to a group of my clients. I was like, okay, right now there's a lot of people who are not as smart as you, not as good looking as you, not as creative, not as talented, and they're making 10 times more money than you are. Why? Because they're just fucking owning who they are. They're being brave and they're showing up and they're being courageous. Yeah. So
and the other thing that I'll add on the topic as well is like, if we don't move through the resistance, then whatever the thing is, it doesn't go away. So
what you resist persists.
What you resist persists, right? So it's like you either have the choice to to deal with it when it comes up, or you can still be dealing with it in 6 to 12 months down the track, and it'll be more persistent than ever. It'll go from like the feather to the truck of like, are you going to listen? Are you going to listen? Totally. Because until you do, like that desire, that goal that you have is more than likely, in my experience, not going to have resulted until you actually move through the things that are hard, whether that's business or personal, because as we spoke about before, they're all interconnected. If you're not showing up in a conversation, in a conversation with your partner, and you don't feel like you can express yourself, like in the example that you gave, then there's a good chance that you're not going to be showing up for yourself in your business in that way and expressing what you really desire in your business. So it is all interlinked.
Yeah, totally. And it's like it all comes back to like really, whether it be health, business, relationships, money, parenting, like anything in our life is just a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. And it's like, for me, being on this journey for like 14 years now, is what it always comes back to is like, okay, it always comes back to this is just a game and a journey between me and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, for me, and I was reflecting on this recently, we've been in a rich grade and all the things, and there's been this really deep reflective energy. And I've just been reflecting on, okay, like the ultimate goal of my life. Like if I went to the end of my life and I'm on my deathbed, like let's get deep here.
Let's get morbid here.
Let's get morbid.
Let's bring in some pain, some of that juicy pain stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing juicier than death.
Exactly. Death and birth. It's actually funny because our friend, my best friend Christy Ord, who's also been on here, sometimes I tease her because I'm like, you always love talking about death, but she always brings it back to, I'm like, when I'm making a decision, I'm like, she's like, let's go do this. And I'm kind of umming and ahhing. She's like, look, when you're on your deathbed, are you going to regret? I'm like, why do you always talk about death? But it is very powerful if you go, okay, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm looking back, what is the thing that will have me feeling content, like with my life? What's going to have me feeling like, all right, I can leave in peace. Like I'm fully content. And for me, it's that I became the woman that I was born to be. And so really it's just, for me, a journey of growth and becoming the woman.
Totally. And it's a very powerful question to ask.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Like I've had some huge life things happen, over the last couple of months. And a big part of the action that I took from that was from that question of like, if I was on my deathbed, would I be okay with these certain things? Would I be okay with, other people around me seeing this as the example that I've set for my life? Like, absolutely not. And so it's almost bittersweet because it's like we do sometimes need that pain and asking ourselves those questions to really give us a kick up the arse. Yeah. To get really honest. To get really honest, that's right. But then it's also this, I feel like this beautiful balance in business and in life as well, to have a bigger why that's driven by purpose and truth and the light versus like the darkness, the pain. They're like, but if you died, would you be all right? It's like you need both in a way.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, totally. And it's interesting because I remember like many years ago when we first started out in business, it's like this is how, because you might be listening to this and going, how do I know if I'm motivated in pain or pleasure? And it's a really simple way is, I remember back in the day, this is how you know you're motivated away from pain, is that I would work really hard, achieve the result, say like a big cash month, and then I'd take my foot off the accelerator.
Well, and also you get the big cash, like when I did the $36,000 month, I was celebrating and all the things, but I didn't I didn't really feel like.
That's the other piece.
Yeah,
yes.
I didn't really feel like, oh my goodness, like I'm so proud of myself. I've done it now. It was like, but what's next?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
There was still that emptiness.
Yeah, the void. Yeah, totally. That's what I felt too. And I would like that, and I'd like, well, I've got the results, so now I'm just going to take my foot off the accelerator. And then when the money would be going down, I'd be like, shit, pain.
Hello,
and then
friend.
get into action. Exactly. Which is, whereas nowadays is so different. It's like, okay, last year I remember it's like I did that, my biggest ever cash month, and then straight away, like I was back into, I ran a 7-day challenge for like 100 women, and it was amazing because I was just excited, and I wanted to share and help more people. Yeah. It's just coming from such a different place.
Totally. I've also noticed as well that, like, now that I look back and I reflect, and I know now if this played out again, I would pick up on it sooner, but I'll never forget when my nana passed away. This was when I was back in corporate, and I was very close with her, so it had like a huge impact on me. But then the next day I went straight back to work and was like, okay, like my number, I'm going to double it this month. And it was like I was running from the pain. Like I didn't want to grieve. So I threw myself back into work and was like, I'll just be the overachiever and then I don't have to feel. But it's also like that's not sustainable. Like I feel like the
you
pain.
You can only run away from the pain for so long.
Totally, right.
Because you're running away from yourself, really.
Yeah. And it's just, like it's not sustainable to continue to grow from a place of pain. You'll burn out.
Totally.
You'll end up like, you'll burn out. You'll probably damage relationships because you're just like bloody working all the time.
Yeah.
You'll never feel fulfilled and like keep chasing the next bigger month or bigger achievement, and you'll just feel like hollow at the end of it all.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel like if there's any of those patterns playing out for people, it's probably a sign that you're being driven by pain and not pleasure.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing you say is it's like it's okay to be driven by pain, to like take those initial actions, but you can't do it forever.
Totally.
Eventually you get to a place where, and that was me too, because I got adrenal fatigue, like so burnt out, and I had to find a new driver. Like
absolutely. And it's also pretty, like most, well, not even most, like all of the women that I know that have multiple 7-figure businesses, they do it in a sustainable way where they have their peace, they have their nourishment, they have great relationships, they have like all the things. If I then look at, I don't know, like some movie stars, for example, that just like have got all this money, but then they're like on drugs or they're committing suicide. Like you can't skip the work, right? Because it doesn't go away. Yeah. So not all movie stars like that.
You can't skip the work.
You can't skip the work, right?
Yeah. I love that. If you want to live a fully rounded life, like success in all areas, holistic success, then doing the work it's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
It's 80%, right?
Totally. Yeah. So, Mel, do you have a question for me?
I did, but I forgot. I forgot what my question was before. If you just give me a moment to tune in, I'll try and think of what it was again. I'm pretty sure that it was on the topic though of what we've already spoken around with like people that create large amounts of success that's sustainable, and around the fact that they'll always be continuing to do the inner work, because it's like what the woman that you become to do the 36K month or the 50K month is going to be a different woman to doing like the 100K month or the, like my other mentor, the $721,000 in 60 days. Like there's always going to be another layer of inner work to peel back and to look at to get to that next level.
Totally.
So maybe if you want to talk into, I don't know, some examples maybe.
Speak into that.
Speak into that a little bit with my fabulous one question.
No, it's a great question, Mel.
Amazing. Something I prepared earlier.
Yes, I love this question. So, okay, so if I share, For me, like over the last 12 months, it's been a friggin' massive, massive journey. I've been in a collective 9-year. So we're currently in a collective 9-year, and I've been in a personal 9-year. So it's been a double crumbling and a lot of closing outs. And yeah, I mean, this past year I was pregnant. I miscarried at 4 months pregnant. So much has moved and shifted and changed in my life. And even I've had moments of just questioning everything, like, is this what I'm meant to be doing? And just really going deep and on reflection. And a huge thing for me was, like last year was my biggest financial year to date as an entrepreneur. And, so I was hitting like these big months and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I remember halfway through the year I was at a business retreat and I set this goal of like, okay, well, what's next? And I set the goal of, okay, well, I want to be doing $1 million a year. And yeah, like that version of me who was doing, say, 30 to 50K months, she was not the version who was going to be doing any more than that. It's like who I was then, that was my ceiling. Like that $56,000 a month, that was my ceiling because of just in who I was being. So a huge example of something that I needed to change was, and this is the question, right, is like for anyone listening, if you're at a current level and you want to go to the next level, it's like, well, that version of me who's created that level, let's say it's $100,000 a month, what is the gap between who she is and who I'm being right now? Like what's different? What are her habits, her behaviors? What does she tolerate, not tolerate? Because that's where the work starts. Everyone starts with, what do I need to do to create $100,000 months? But the first question to always ask yourself is, who do I need to be? And and so for me, it was getting really honest with myself about my health and my body. So it's not that and here's the thing, right? It's not that my health was bad. Like it was probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I was still like eating well and, doing cleanses and taking supplements and moving my body daily. But I wasn't being fully honest with myself that I wanted my body to be like a 10. I wanted my health and my body to be a 10 out of 10 because that was what my heart desired. Like that was what was true for me. And last year, like I was staying very busy in the just following my joy, which is my business. Like I love my work, right? I friggin' love helping people. I love what I do. So I was staying busy in that. And so it was like every area of my life was really great, but it was just that the health or my relationship with my body wasn't where I wanted it to be. And so that's been a huge thing that I've changed. So I we lost the baby. I miscarried about 2.5 months ago now. And since then I've been down some rabbit holes on Instagram and ChatGTP with like how can I eat in a way that has me feeling as good as I feel when I'm cleansing. So I've started a whole new way of eating, so eating more animal based, and that's been a huge change. And then also bringing in training. So like every morning my alarm goes off at 5:55 a.m. I can wake up whenever I want and pretty much do what I want, but I choose to do that, and that's what I want to do right now because I like to know that I've moved my body and I've been for a walk before my son even wakes up in the morning. And he sees that, like when he wakes up, I'm coming in the door and I've got my workout gear on and I've already moved my body, and that's really important to me. And yeah, I've joined the gym and I've just taken it to a whole new level. And yeah, I've got new vitality, I've got new energy, my capacity has expanded massively. And now that I'm in this, I'm like, oh, this is the space from which I'm really going to go next level in, say, business and finances and every area of my life, like, because body is number one, right? It's the foundation of absolutely everything else in our life. It's like, so if you want transformation, like, start with your body, like, do a cleanse, like, start moving, like, get really clean on what you're eating, because that starts to move and shift and change everything. So yeah, does that answer your question?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the version of you that has the result now is not going to be the same version to get you to the result that you desire. And you have that, in my experience, at every level. Like, you know, you've spoken about the 50K months. I know, like, Christy has spoken about that when she had the 200K month.
Yeah.
I know my other mentor, Britt, you know, she's spoken to me before about doing 100K months and then being like, okay, well, what's that next level version? And, you know, and I think as well as it's also like being kind to yourself in the journey, right? Because one of the things that just dropped in was like Britt was telling me how she was being like feeling quite critical about like not getting to that next level sooner, right? You know, and I've felt that as well, and I'm sure you have, and it's probably so a whole nother
like
topic,
every
right?
client ever.
But it's like, you know, most people,
it's that I should be further along than where I am now.
Absolutely. So there's always another layer to the next version, the next goal that you want to get to, which is why this work is so important to continue to do.
Absolutely. And that's why too, it's like, if you make your number one goal, the godfather goal of your life, so to speak, that you're just here to become the woman you were born to be, then it makes the journey so much better, rather than like, I'm just going to grow so that I can get a result. Because you look at our life, what is our life? Our life is the journey. Like, that's actually what it is. And the results are just these fleeting moments where and it's just like a little dopamine hit of like, oh, I got the thing. But that's not actually what means something. What means something is the journey that you took to
and having happiness and peace along the journey.
Yeah. Feeling proud of like, fuck, the resistance came up. Like, there were times where I did not, you know, it's not every morning that my alarm goes off and I'm like, yay! Like, it's still dark outside, but yay! I'm so excited to go for my walk. But I do it because every time I do it, I know that I feel better on the other side.
Totally.
Same with the ice bath. There's never a time where I'm like, yeah.
can't wait to feel freezing and shake.
Let's get in the ice bath.
Yeah.
But there's never, ever a time when I get out of the ice bath and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that ice bath.
That's it. It's like choose your hard, right?
Exactly, yeah. Any final piece? So for women who are listening in right now and maybe they've had a challenging time lately, what would be one bit of advice that you would leave them?
Yeah. So one piece of advice that I would leave you with is that you are never given anything in life that you can't handle.
Ooh.
So
that's hot.
Juicy one. So if you're going through anything challenging or hard, that just know that you will get to the other side of it, and know that anything that you're given you can handle, and just like use the time that you have to really double down on any like modalities that you have that support you. So for me, it's Koya and it's breath work and
seeing chi.
And seeing chi. Is that what you said? Seeing chi, yeah. Just go see chi. She'll sort it all out, right?
Just come and have a big cry at my house.
And that on the other side of that resistance is everything that you desire.
Ooh. That's hot.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Mel, for coming in and sharing your wisdom today. It's a lovely conversation. And I'm sure we'll have you back again soon.
Yeah, in a year's time maybe. We'll do part 3.
Yeah.